saw a little bit of Val earlier on in the day. And he's going to be playing here against Sire, who I honestly, locks in anything other than Bodvar would be a huge surprise to me.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Already Keith opening
with
the ground pound off the side of the stage.
That was a pretty funny ground pound because I feel like Sire was not even close to it, like completely up and above Keith.
Sometimes, you know, you want to go up and you hold down. And then Keith hasn't picked up a weapon the entire time. What's going on? Keith, please, come back to the stage. Oh,
I mean, it's so difficult. Look at the way that Sire is dominating space. But then, you know what? Keith comes in there, gets that neutralite, and now has gauntlets in hand. Yeah. Looking for that jump in here, whiffing that side light. Okay, nice little neutralite. Gets the pickup. The GCD light does not actually connect, though.
Yeah, Keith finally fighting back a bit out of the gauntlets picked up. No dodge means that stomp there will be easily connected. And Sire with the energy sword here gets hit off the side of the stage. Good read with the recovery. One of these gravity cancel down lights, Keith. You're just kind of throwing them out there. Those are really risky. Oh, I'm not complaining. Skates right back on the stage. Takes him off the left side of the stage. I'm surprised that knocks out. After seeing so many Mako down sigs not knock out like at the edge of the stage, and I see
You're like, okay, this is what it looks like when every other character in the game has access to side sigs. Okay, now we remember what KO power actually looks like. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even Magyar's is even harder. You have to like watch this whole startup animation of like grotesque like arms coming out of him, and by the time you're like there,
awfully
you're like
nothing.
It's like 5 seconds later, the move actually starts. Meanwhile, Keith brings out a skateboard, sends him flying off the side of the stage in orange. It's fine. Here we go. Game number 1, evened up 2-2. Funny clash. They're both doing the same dash forward, dash back motion there, but nobody really getting a lead so far.
Okay, just getting a lot of hits here, looking for that same kind of side sig. You know what? Sire said, hey, you know what? Stop it. Whatever you're doing, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No skateboarding allowed.
And that recovery clashing with the ground pound there, side light dodged out of the way. It's the constant struggle of every gauntlet player to figure out how the heck they're going to make a move connect after side light. And some are very good at it, and others are, well, they're still trying. And I don't think I've seen Keith get a follow-up so far, but...
Keith is pressing a lot of signatures now, the likes of which Sire found a couple of punishes for you. But right now, how do you actually make it back on? That was awesome. That was great.
Does he get the knockout there? No, he doesn't. But that was a great use of that. For anybody that's kind of like, what? He was sweating. What happened? Well, he hit Keith with a move. And when that happens, you like enable a new type of dodge called the chase dodge. He uses it directly up, full momentum, drifts to the side of the stage, holds on that stock a little bit longer, and after taking only a little bit of damage, is able to bring it down to 1-1. And it was one of those situations where if Keith literally didn't go down there to try to hit him, the Sire just would have fallen off the right side of the stage. So be careful with your edge guards.
Okay, actually getting the jump read that time right with the side light into the recovery here, but Sire looking for a juggle of their own with a couple of neutralities. Whiffing that D-light is going to spell a bit of an opening. They're just whiffing in each other's face and finding subsequent whiff punishes over and over for like the last handful of exchanges.
Keith's been really gauntlet heavy this entire set too. This has been interesting. Like he's got the... Unless he's changed what the weapon skin for, he's got like the nunchucks going on. So it's like, why not use those? I don't know. It's all gauntlets so far. Silent recovery, double recovery.
I mean, it's working. Look at all this damage.
Do you like recovery?
Ooh.
Nope.
I think that was spaced out a little bit too far to the side, but that last one still did it.
Yeah, spaced out and then also hesitated, where it was like, oh, that hit? I should try to...
You have to full commit if you actually want your recovery to connect at that point.
It's something that, like, I think back to the days of Little Cat playing Bodvar, and every time that I saw a stomp hit and then just nothing afterwards, it's a similar situation where he, like, gets surprised. Oh, yeah, we got the replay. But then the side light comes through. Yeah, that's a great edge guard there, especially when you're stuck being unarmed. You just get, like, that great angle of knockback, horizontal and slightly down.
Yeah, I love the gauntlets on Keith. They were a pretty good fit, I have to say.
I would like to see what the stats were on the damage there. I'm sure it was mostly gauntlets, though. And Sire switches off the Bodvar. So I said I would be surprised if it happened at all. And I am. I just am. I saw you, like, open up the stats, and I'm like, Hattori reported
there is a couple of those 3 other games, yeah.
So this might be something. So this is like when Bodvar left the meta and Java was left without a main character. Hattori is who he went to play. And this is something that I think that anybody who's like, okay, if Hammer's not doing it right now, I want as much movement speed as possible. I still want some really snappy signatures that I can hit out of my light attack openers to catch people off guard. Hattori is the character that you would go to. So it's not super surprising that Sire would go here. But still, I didn't think the Bodvar was doing that bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily like warranted a switch off. I'm not really sure like what Sire is looking for with it, but right now game is just about as even as it could be. Looks for something malicious there. Keith had absolutely none of it.
Yeah, the sidelight into the delayed side sig there was not very quick.
What is that cover? Like a dodge out?
Like a dodge in, or like if you dodge up fast fall.
Yeah.
It's just really delayed. I think if he pivoted it, he could have gotten the dodge in, but it was just hesitation, I think. And while it didn't lead, okay, that's good. Never mind, Gauntlets don't have a really great way of knocking that out. And that gravity cancel side sig was so high up that Sire was just able to duck right underneath it, jump, pivot the downlight, get the recovery off the top, and take the lead here. Now everything that he gets is going to be so huge for Sire because the lead was really quite small.
Oh, I saw a GC D-Light attempt from Keith there out of disadvantage. I'm surprised that Sire didn't go for like maybe like another like GC D-Light or just press that advantage a little bit further.
Oh, like it got interrupted right before the move came out? You had a better eye on that than I did, and it made it that just Sire didn't see it either. Either way, still good damage here. Michelangelo about as orange as his health bar. Let's see what Sire's able to do with that.
Okay, going all the way out there, looking for a little something. He really wants that neutral. I see Gauntlets undo somebody off that, off stage, not committing to anything. They're waiting for you to drop down. They're saying, okay, fast fall down or something, but the side's not long enough for Keith to actually make it back on.
Was that a sword dare, and then Keith just didn't think he had the right drift? I don't know. Whatever the case is, Sire doing fantastic with the Tori here compared to how game number 1 went.
Yeah.
And yeah, Gauntlet's off stage, wanting to reversal with Nair. Absolutely, all the time. The only thing that happened more often was the year Gauntlets came out, and everybody was actually just holding ground pound and steering it because they thought it was a funny move. But not today. Nair reversals all the time. Nice jump. Oh, what? You can't drop D-Light jump. You can't jump. I can't even say it because I'm so mad. There it is. Downlight side air. Can't drop D-Light side air like that. Sire gets it the second time through, but Keith just side six right back onto the main stage.
That's another one of those side six, right? Just catching Sire, pressing a couple of buttons in an attempt to get Keith off stage, and it doesn't work out, and then you just got hit and all that.
That one's a little tougher because
oh no,
weapon toss.
Okay, that's the touch. Okay, you're able to make it back on.
Sire's low on jumps, ground pound hits. Nice wake-up recovery. He had to do that there. If the Nair came right afterwards, that could have been the stock.
Yeah, I mean, also just the fact that Sire was at low damage, that was just low enough knockback, right, that you were able to make it back on successfully.
Silent Nair could come through here. Wait, Dara, he's making this comeback look possible here. Sire's freaking out. Oh, one-sider hits, dash jump forward, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, D-Light Cider finishes it off. Nicely done. I was a little worried for Sire there as Keith started playing with the gauntlets, but game 2 goes over to Sire, and now it's evened up.
I really like the Hattori switch. I think just the spear really aided in a lot of damage output that was kind of missing from game 1.
Yeah, as you can see there with the damage.
It was just a good switch overall.
Yeah, 292 damage coming in from spear, overpowering his sword even. And I would say that the hammer was a little lackluster in the previous game as well. So that Brawlhalla game going over to Sire. I wonder if Keith is going to let that open as we move forward here into game number 3.
Not seeing any switch offs. They're just both going to be keeping it the same as they did in game number 2. Trying to figure out what kind of happened for Keith here. I feel like the gauntlets didn't have nearly as much presence as they did game 1.
I mean, they had presence in the sense that it was the only weapon he used, but I do get what you're saying. They just didn't really dominate the matchup as much as they did when it was against Sire's Bodvar. And it might be because Keith's gauntlets are so... that interesting spikes through. Weapon throw.
That angle was awful.
Yeah.
That is maybe the worst angle to possibly get sent out.
Are you talking about the spike from the end sig? Yeah, when you slide charge it off.
Horrendous.
Yeah, it's interesting too because it's more often used, I think, on stage because even if it hits you on stage, the angle of knockback is pretty strong. It just sends you off the top. But when you do get to see it used as a spike like that, it's really tough to recover from. Throw the weapon, they have to recover around the weapon off the side, and we saw Keith get that jumping gravity.
There's nothing that you can do. That is just a basically guaranteed execution test GCD light at that point.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of mix-ups at that point. And right now, Keith, with that kind of a comfortable lead, you can opt to play a little bit more aggressively. Sire looking for that down air. Keith able to make it back on is what I would say. but that weapon toss just going to deny that situation altogether.
Yeah, Sire's edge guards have been pretty great vertically this set as well. We've been seeing a few of those like double dare, weapon throw, edge guards where Keith's off the bottom of the stage and just can't quite make it back. Nsig tries to read Sire going off the side of the stage, and that was a great follow to Keith's drift.
Sire is the wrong direction, maybe anticipating some sort of a dash in, but Sire kind of had the right idea with the descending Sire.
Oh, let's see what Keith can do here. That might just be it. I don't think Sire landed. Am I wrong?
Oh, good.
Okay.
Fade back just in case. And Keith missed the GCD light.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big whiff there. Let's see if he can clean this up, because Sire's now got an edge guard opportunity here on Keith. No dodge, means D-Light dare. Gravity cancel D-Light side air. That's the most that you can get off a dodge on sword. And gets the down air as well. Yeah, Keith, that was the biggest price to pay off of a whiffed edge guard. My goodness. And such an optimal punish from Sire. I mean, I rarely see that. Like it's one thing when you have Scythe or Gauntlets and their dodge is gone, but to be able to get a 4-piece combo like that on sword is so fantastic. Keith hits right back, but he's still at a deficit because of that.
Okay, Gauntlets in hand. Let's see what Keith is able to make happen with them. Sword on hand as well. Sire looking for the falling neutral, dodges away successfully, doesn't get the follow-up. Really nice damage output here from Keith.
Yeah. Goes off the side of the stage. Sire responds right away with Nair recovery. Good dodge. He dodges away from the landing neutral light, but Keith is trying to get more stacked. That was such a fast ground pound.
Oh, and the neutral light was actually like basically guaranteed. Sire didn't have a dodge, but what just happened?
Down like gravity cancel Nsig. Is that going to be it? Oh no! He doesn't play around the fact that Gauntlets have a little bit of momentum on that side air. Keith uses it for that momentum to get a spot dodge the ground pound, make it back to stage, and Sire doesn't get that super early stock, and that's a little too slow in the D-Light recovery. Also a true combo that Sire just kind of drops. Sire will disarm him, though. Can he get this edge guard here with the sword?
Okay, dodges in and then just able to fade back. Okay, this is really, really huge. Backing off, just trying to...
First time with the sword here.
Comes in with the side light, able to get the side air as well.
Oh, the dodge right over the side air, and Sire's able to get the landing. That was actually like 50-50 anyone's game at that point, I feel like. The second that Keith missed the edge guard in that way, Sire was guaranteed his own edge guard, but if he didn't miss it, he just wins the game. We got to see that spike super early on in the D-Light ground pound.
There's nothing you could have done. Your options are basically all covered.
Maybe if you dodged through the weapon, but once he chose to dodge around the weapon, you were absolutely correct. Yeah, that was just it was curtains for that stock. Two good edge guards in a row from Sire there. Into the very end, where really it was just a whiff edge guard from Keith, and now we've got ourselves a game 4 match point. If Sire wins this, Keith is out at third, and he gets that rematch with Himway, where the Bodvar did pretty well. But I'm wondering, like, after this matchup, if he like takes the warmed up Hattori and just moves it into Himway and attempts a different approach.
I like Hattori. I think it's been doing excellent. I think the Spirit choice has just been sort of like paying off, at least in this specific matchup, right? So I'm curious to see what it can do. But speaking of the Spear, that was almost a stock off the top.
Yeah,
a little bit too little damage to actually do it, but still, oh my god.
Keith wasn't dodging. I was like, looking at him, and he's like, he was hoping that Sire would stop recovering, and he's like, I have 3 jumps, I'll do it again, and he did. And now Keith getting hit by that side signature, reversal, dashes right off into the Sire. I think Keith is just not expecting Sire to be so aggressive here, because I'm like, wow, is he just not dodging? Okay. I'm like watching for this now. Sword picked up, gravity cancel silent and recovery.
The one time you dodge directly into that recovery, though.
Ouch. Neutral signature hits, weapon throw, catches him out of recovery. What's going on here? Keith's kind of... He's looking like he's just an easy target at the moment.
Yeah, Keith's getting hit by a lot of buttons. I feel like that is sort of the best way to explain what's happening here. Cleans it up when it comes to the edge guard, though. They're totally even at this point. But when they're going blow through blow, Sire is the one that is consistently coming out on top.
Now we're in even game. I'm looking at what's going to be happening here with Keith. It looks like Keith's kind of cleaned up what was happening again. Never mind, that delay ends up hitting. So it's like it's a really tight string to dodge, but it is one of the faster follow-ups that you have with the signature kit when it comes to sword characters. And so Sire is basically taking advantage of the fact that it looks like Keith isn't trying to get out of these D-Light side airs and D-Light recoveries, and he's getting that extra bit of damage and good knockback from putting up that neutral signature. Still, though, Keith has taken the lead here in the second stock.
Keith tried to go for the jump call-out, didn't get it. That time Uganda, that's going to be pretty huge. Tries to go for the stage spike, is going to be able to do so. And just saving that dodge until the last possible second, Sire makes it back from all the way below.
Yeah, that was really well played. Let's see. Oh, one end light comes through. Man, Keith, I think, has gotten like one silent recovery the entire game. That recovery will do great because it didn't come before a side light. And takes
That was just a good classic call out.
Yeah, and it might be what he has to do to get these stocks out here. I've noticed a lot of whiff punishes. He uses the side light just because it's the fastest thing, but he's not getting the dodge punishes right afterwards. And Sire with 2 end lights.
Keith is not dodging.
A ground. He really isn't. I noticed that too, and it's like it started this game, and I'm like, what happened? I'm not going crazy, right? Like he's just not.
Yeah, I saw that connect, and I just saw like Keith just kind of take it. Okay, and we're seeing the dodge in the one time that you dodge it. Oh no.
He's dodging in or not dodging, which might as well be the same thing.
I feel like a dodge in like that is like a very specific mix-up that you're looking for in some situations, not in this one.
And especially against Spear Sidelight, where like once you use the sidelight, like you're not mashing buttons to get the 2 swings. You kind of like use the move, and then you're waiting to see what your opponent does afterwards. So those dodges are pretty juicy to react to. Sidelight hits.
Okay, tries to go for that
Huge
dash and
spot
D-light.
dodge.
Yeah, if you got that D-light, that would have been a sider. That would have been just a really good edge guard for Keith.
Gauntlets are not picked up. Sidelight pogoed right after it because Sire knows that Keith's not going for the recoveries off the rip. So he's just kind of like, okay, I'm going to hit you out. Okay, that could be game. Keith goes for the edge guard unarmed, though. He failed to pick up the weapon on accident, but then Sire fails to deny the weapon, gets the unarmed recovery, dash forward, dodge back. Oh, it's anyone's game, Dara. Who's going to get the first downlight?
They're both now playing a little bit more gently. Keith is giving up a lot of space, but Sire with
the edge
that
guard?
sig. Oh no.
Drops to the edge guard again. Ground pound comes through. I can't believe Keith gets it. Brings it to a game 5. That was I can't believe Keith won without dodging. That's kind of crazy. What do you think about it? You look a little upset.
The last stock was weird, man.
It was really weird.
Dare I say, you know,